Rome, a city that began as a settlement on the banks of the Tiber and became the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen. A civilization of engineers, soldiers, rulers, philosophers, and dreamers. But imagine a different Rome, a Rome with access to knowledge far beyond its age, a Rome guided not by chance or prophecy, but by artificial intelligence. What would change? What would remain? And what kind of world would rise from the union of ancient ambition and modern intelligence? This is the story of an empire that never was, but could have been. The founding of Rome is a myth, Romulus and Remus, a wolf, a destiny. But if AI were present, destiny becomes design. AI analyzes river flow patterns and seasonal flooding, trade routes connecting Mediterranean ports, elevation and defensive positions, access to timber, stone, and iron, maritime connections to Africa and Greece, agricultural fertility of surrounding plains. And Rome is not chosen by legend, but by optimization. Instead of humble huts scattered on 7 hills, AI guides, grid-based city planning with zones for growth, optimal placement of walls, maximizing defense, flood-resistant river engineering with controlled channels, strategic zoning for markets, housing, and temples, sanitation systems mapped centuries early, fire-resistant urban design preventing catastrophic blazes. Rome begins not as an accident, but as an engineered super city. The city that took centuries to evolve now emerges fully formed in decades. And this changes everything. The Romans were already master builders, but with AI, they become unstoppable. Aqueducts, redesigned AI predicts pressure distributions across kilometers, seismic risks and fault lines, erosion patterns over centuries, optimal arch configurations for maximum strength. Aqueducts become more efficient, longer-lasting, and leak-proof. Water flows to every corner of the city, not just the privileged. Roads of the future. AI calculates the shortest, strongest routes across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Roads become straighter, cutting travel time by half, smoother, reducing wear on carts and soldiers, more durable, lasting millennia instead of centuries. Optimized for both trade caravans and marching legions, transportation is no longer a challenge. It becomes the empire's superpower. The Colosseum, perfected AI, helps design stress-resistant stone layers preventing cracks, crowd flow dynamics, eliminating stampedes, acoustic optimization so every spectator hears perfectly, lightweight structural arches reducing construction time. The Colosseum becomes not just entertainment, but an engineering marvel century ahead of its time. A structure so advanced, it could host events today. Architecture everywhere with AI simulation. Bridges rarely collapse, spanning rivers thought impossible. Cities resist fire through strategic material placement. Temples scale larger, rivaling modern skyscrapers. Ports become global trade hubs with automated cargo systems. Rome's greatness expands exponentially. Every building becomes smarter, every structure optimized, every mistake removed before it's made. If engineering built Rome, the legions defended it. But with artificial intelligence, the Roman military becomes something the ancient world could never resist. AI predicts enemy movements. Simulations reveal ambush sites where terrain favors attackers, barbarian migration routes years in advance, weak points in enemy fortifications, weather risks affecting supply lines, terrain advantages invisible to the naked eye. Rome no longer guesses, it knows. Every battle is fought before a single sword is drawn. Optimized formations. The testudo becomes more than a shield formation. AI creates dynamic shifting formations adapting to enemy tactics, adaptive flanking that reacts in real time, predictive spear timing based on opponent movements, Perfect spacing between soldiers, maximizing protection. War becomes mathematics, strategy becomes algorithm, victory becomes inevitable. Logistics revolution AI ensures food supply routes never run dry, soldier rotations preventing exhaustion, weapon reserves replenished before depletion, horse fatigue prediction, avoiding cavalry collapse, seasonal risk analysis for campaign timing. Rome's armies move with machine precision, no wasted motion, no unnecessary casualties. Julius Caesar. With AI, imagine Caesar's Gallic campaigns with artificial intelligence. With AI, Gaul is conquered in 3 years instead of 8. Casualties drop by 70%. Rebellions predicted and prevented before they ignite. Supply lines optimized to feed armies in hostile territory. Caesar's brilliance amplified, his genius multiplied. Rome expands faster than history ever allowed. The empire stabilizes sooner. Borders solidify earlier. History accelerates. The Pax Romana, 200 years of peace, transforms into something much larger when AI enters the empire. Disease prevention AI detects patterns in fevers spreading through neighborhoods, contaminated water sources, animal diseases jumping to humans, population density creating epidemic conditions. Pandemics are predicted before they spread. Quarantines are implemented with surgical precision. Rome becomes the healthiest ancient civilization. Life expectancy doubles. Economic optimization. AI continuously regulates trade, preventing market crashes, detects shortages before prices spike, tracks inflation across provinces, predicts famine, allowing grain redistribution, monitors harvest cycles suggesting ideal planting times. Rome avoids many economic crises that historically led to instability. The currency remains strong for centuries. Agriculture revolution AI improves. Crop rotation maximizing soil fertility. Soil analysis revealing nutrient deficiencies. Water distribution through precision irrigation. Livestock management preventing disease. Food output multiplies threefold. Population grows steadily without starvation. Cities expand without collapse. Legal harmony. Roman law becomes the world's first data-driven justice system. Case patterns analyzed revealing bias. Corruption detected through financial anomalies. Crime hotspots predicted enabling prevention. Fairer legal resolutions based on precedent analysis. Justice becomes not just blind, but intelligent. Cultural renaissance. With stability comes unprecedented innovation. AI accelerates. Mathematical discoveries by analyzing patterns. Architectural experimentation with safe simulations. Medical breakthroughs through data correlation. Artistic techniques shared across the empire. Pax Romana becomes longer, deeper, and more stable. Rome becomes not just powerful, but remarkably efficient. A machine-powered civilization where every citizen thrives. Rome fell not because of a single event, but because of a series of weaknesses accumulating over centuries. AI would see them all, every crack, every flaw, every gathering storm. Weak economy AI predicts financial collapse decades before it hits. Systems adjust, resources redistribute, crisis averted. Overextended borders AI warns, reduce territory or increase military resources. Current expansion is unsustainable. Rome chooses strategic consolidation over reckless conquest. Political corruption. Data systems highlight unstable leaders before they gain power. Senators with suspicious finances are investigated. Tyrants are identified before coronation. Barbarian pressure AI maps, migration patterns, predicts invasions, strengthens weak borders. Germanic tribes are met with reinforced fortifications, not walls of desperation, but calculated defense networks. Climate changes. AI forecasts droughts and cooling periods affecting food production. Grain reserves are stockpiled, alternative crops planted. What would have been famine becomes minor inconvenience. The human question. Rome receives warnings centuries before disaster, but the question remains. Would Rome listen? Technology can guide a civilization, but it cannot control human pride, greed, or fear. An emperor might ignore AI's warning about overexpansion. A corrupt senator might disable financial oversight. A proud general might reject tactical recommendations. AI provides the map, but humans choose the path. The empire may last longer, centuries longer, perhaps millennia, but ultimately, its fate depends on its leaders, their wisdom, their humility, their vision. Artificial intelligence would reshape every part of Rome: cities, armies, trade, law, health, strategy. Rome could become a megacity empire spanning continents, a globalized ancient world connected by instant communication, a civilization century ahead of its time, the birthplace of the Renaissance 1,000 years early, a technological superpower that discovers electricity by 500 AD. It might never fall. It might rule until today, a continuous civilization 2,800 years old. Or it might evolve into something entirely different, a democratic republic guided by data, not demagogues. A scientific empire exploring the stars by the year 1000, something beyond our imagination. The current effects. If Rome never fell, the Dark Ages might never happen. Knowledge lost in history remains preserved. Scientific progress continues unbroken for 2 millennia. Democracy spreads earlier, refined by Roman governance. Perhaps we'd be a spacefaring civilization by now. Perhaps diseases we still fight would be eradicated. Perhaps wars we still wage would have been prevented by AI diplomacy centuries ago. But the lesson of this alternate Rome is simple. Technology does not create greatness, it amplifies it, and it exposes it. Rome rose through the strength of its people, their discipline, their ambition, their innovation. AI would only magnify that strength and their weaknesses. A wise Rome guided by AI becomes paradise. A foolish Rome with AI becomes tyranny perfected. Ancient Rome, built with artificial intelligence, would be one of the most advanced civilizations in history. But ultimately, the destiny of an empire is not shaped by machines. It is shaped by the humans who use them. Would Rome have conquered the stars, or would it have built a prison of data and stone? We'll never know. But perhaps, that's the question we should be asking about ourselves, right now, in our own time, because we are Rome, and the AI is already here,